This is not liberation. When did motherhood become a burden? They told us it was liberation. Somewhere along the way, we began to see our deepest power as a burden. Our wombs, once seen as sacred altars, became a nuisance. And now in 2025, in one of the most materially advanced civilizations on Earth, we still don't understand what we carry. I am not here to judge. I'm here to ask the deeper questions. What have we traded in the name of progress? What did we lose when we stopped seeing the spiritual weight of what it means to bring a soul to Earth? This is not about politics. It is about remembering. Hi, I'm Michelle, a herbalist, Stoic at heart, and a guide for those walking the path of emotional healing through the quiet wisdom of nature. If you're here, you're probably not looking for a quick fix. You are looking for something real, something gentle, yet deeply transformative. And that is exactly what Bach flower remedies offer. And that is what I share. One story, one flower, one soul shift at a time. But today I want to talk about something very difficult. Abortion as healthcare. There are things we don't say or do anymore. Things that used to be sacred. Things we used to feel in our bones, even if we didn't have the words for them. Now, we scroll, we speak loud, we march, we argue, we demand. But what we rarely do is ask. Ask the real questions. Ask the spiritual questions. This video is not about what you should do. It's about what we've stopped asking. It's about the feminine, it's about the womb, it's about abortion. And it's about the fire we carry inside of us that we've been trained to treat like a burden. Let me be clear, this is not about laws or politics or control. I am absolutely not here to make decisions for other people. I am here to speak into something deeper, something uncomfortable, and something true. Because in 2025, in the West, in a time when we have access to contraception, medical care, and education, we are still surrounded by a narrative that says children are the problem, that motherhood is a prison and pregnancy is a punishment. We speak of abortion as if it's just healthcare, as if it's no different than a dental appointment, but a human life ends. And we're not allowed to say that without being accused of being backwards or oppressive or anti-women. But I am a woman, and I think we need to say it. Not because I want to shame anyone, but because I want us to feel again, because we have become a demoralized society, not just in our behavior, but in our spirit. We have forgotten the magnitude of what it means to carry life, to be the portal which souls enter the world, to be the archer sending the arrow to the sky, to bleed, to open, to stretch, to break, to rebuild. And we call that inconvenient. We call it unfair. We call it a violation of freedom. But we are not in the 1930s. We are not powerless little girls being forced into motherhood in a system that offers us no choice. We have choice. But somehow we have confused choice with detachment. We have confused freedom with numbness. We keep hearing, but what about rape? Yes, it does happen. And it's horrific. And if you've lived through that, my heart is with you, fully. But according to the evidence, this is the exception, not the norm. Most abortions in the West are not happening because of trauma. They're happening because of inconvenience, because the timing is off, because it's not the right person, because a baby would ruin the plan. And I say this with no hatred, with no coldness, only grief. There have been moments in recent history, during the shadow of communism or brutal winters of war, when human life was treated as disposable, when souls were counted not in stories but in statistics, when the sacredness of one child, one woman, one breath held no weight. In the 20th century, we saw entire systems built on the belief that life had no inherent value, only utility. They knew what it's like to live in systems where life has no value, where children are just mouths to feed, where survival is the only goal. But we live in the West in 2025. We throw away more food than some countries eat. We have heating, plumbing, smartphones, clinics. And yet we say, I can't have this baby. I need to live my life first. Is it really freedom? Or is it a new kind of slavery? A slavery to comfort, to image, to self? What if pregnancy, even in pain, is not a violation? What if it's a calling? What if instead of asking, do I have to do this? We asked, am I courageous enough to take this on? Not because you're being punished, but because your soul is being called into its highest fire. And no, I am not telling you what to do. I'm asking you to remember who you are. Because you, dear woman, carry the fire of the future in your womb. And we've forgotten what that means. We think feminism just gave us freedom. And in some ways it did. The choice to vote, to work, to earn. But who gave us that and for what reason? Some of the most powerful men in history. Men who do not in the slightest represent our men. They didn't have respect for us, but they saw a bigger tax base. We were told, you can have it all. And now we have no rest, no silence, no support. We work, we raise children, we smile, and we perform and we say, this is what freedom looks like. But deep down, many of us already know we were fooled. Because now you can't stay home without shame. You can't raise your child without judgment. You can't carry a baby without being seen as naive. We've confused liberation with burnout. And in all of it, the feminine, true feminine energy, the kind that nourishes, births, sustains, feels, has simply been cast aside. Bach flower remedies for difficult pregnancies. If you're navigating a difficult pregnancy, physically, emotionally, or spiritually, this video is for you. Because no matter how complex the road, you are still the portal of life, and there are gentle natural supports to help you feel more held. Rescue remedy or my own blend called Serenity. This is for those moments when you feel shaken, overwhelmed, or distressed. A soft hand when everything feels too much. It's not a cure, it's a comfort, a small reset, a breath of calm. Walnut. Pregnancy is transformation. Your identity is shifting, your body is opening. Walnut helps you protect your space when everything around you just feels too loud and too invasive, too much. It's a shield for the soul. It helps you to hang on to what you want and leaving the outside noise in the background. Red chestnut, if you feel an intense fear that something might go wrong, especially for the baby. This remedy doesn't suppress your concern. It transforms it into deep trust in life's intelligence. You love fiercely. Red chestnut helps you love with less fear. Mimulus for named fears of pain, of labor, of medical tests, of losing control. Doesn't numb you, it gives you quiet courage. The kind that doesn't roar, but still carries you through. Olive, when you are utterly exhausted, when pregnancy drains you to the bone, olive reminds your body that restoration is possible, even in the midst of creating life. It renews from the roots. Serrato, when difficult choices have to be made, Serrato helps you tap into your intuition and do what you came here to do. Larch restores your self-confidence when you fear making decisions or you fear you cannot count on yourself. It pairs very good with Serrato. Alum is for the strong woman who suddenly feels like she's not enough. When the responsibility of carrying life feels too heavy, alum whispers, you don't have to do this perfectly. You only have to be real. Star of Bethlehem, for those who carry past trauma, whether from previous pregnancies, miscarriages, or births. This is the balm of the soul's bruises. It helps integrate the pain so it no longer haunts the present. From me to you, this isn't about judgment. It's about remembering what it means to be a woman, to hold the fire of life, to know the difference between being used and being chosen, to see your womb not as a liability, but as a miracle. We are not just bodies, we are sacred ground. And the moment we stop asking questions about what life is, what we carry, what we were made for, is the moment we stop being human. So no, I will not tell you what to do, but I will ask you to remember and to ask again what you stopped asking long ago. What am I really here to carry? This is not to shame anyone. This is not to tell others what they should or shouldn't do. I know some people have deeply complex, painful and personal situations. And I will never pretend to know what it's like to walk in every pair of shoes. This video is not meant to hurt, it is meant to awaken, to invite more reverence for the sacred, to make space again for the important, the unseen, the eternal. We live in a culture that loves to push boundaries, but rarely asks why. And when we do ask, we're often shamed, cancelled, called names. But I'm not here for politics. I am not here to perform. And I'm also not here to please. I'm here to be as truthful as I can be, to help, guide, and leave the world a little better when I go. That means we need to speak about difficult things, honestly, without filters, without fear. I loved making this video, and please, if you are in a difficult situation, seek help. There are 7 billion people on the planet. Some of them care, and some of them can help. Thanks for being here with me. See you in the next video.